back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. I've got the ancient alien hair going on again because I forgot my hat downstairs, but let's get into it. We've got a standalone game on Friday. It is Iowa at Quad City. Preview card going to pop up right here. Let's just get right into it, and we'll talk about some more stuff later on down the road. Friday, May 17th, 7:05 p.m. Central Time, live on YouTube and Caffeine TV. I screwed that up. Let me try it again. Friday, May 17th, 7:05 p.m. Central Time, YouTube and Caffeine TV, live from the Vibrant Arena at the Mark from Moline, Illinois. The 2-5 Iowa Barnstormers coming off an upset win against the Massachusetts Pirates in Des Moines. They travel east. They make the short, 2.5-hour road trip down to the Quad Cities to Moline, Illinois to take on the Quad City Steamwheelers coming off their own win in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. As you look now, both these teams are vying for the 4th seed right now in the playoffs. Now, they're not the 4th seed yet. I feel like I have a hair on my nose. I do. They don't have the 4th seed yet because that is occupied by Tulsa, who owns, I believe, the tiebreaker over Quad City, I think just based on a head-to-head, but I think both of them are both 3-4 in the East. Iowa could help that if they get the win. Now, there's got a lot of other stuff that needs to happen, more previews down the road, but this is really, really big when you talk about that final spot for the playoffs. Now, you look here at your statistical leaders. I'm not really going to start getting into this stuff. You can kind of just read it and see who's leading, who's doing what. It can change, it won't change, it will, who knows. The big questions we need to ask here, though, leading quarterback for Quad City, Judd Erickson, is he going to start or has Mike Irwin taken it away? We'll talk about that more in the rosters and things along those lines. I think Iowa has found their quarterback, Kyle King, and Kean Williams shot out of a cannon for the first couple of weeks of the season, but when we talk about the rosters and everything, I think he finally has some help in the receiving core. Kyle King has been able to sling it around, throw it around to a couple of other receivers, and Robert Washington has helped alleviate some of the pressure on that passing game. He's been able to run for a little bit. So, the question is going to become here, how stout are these defenses? We'll talk about that when we talk, betting segment predictions and all that. But you see here, there's all your statistical leaders. Players I do want to look out for, though, like I've mentioned, Kean Williams. 4 catches, 41 yards. Not a lot to write home about. He was outgained by Keyshawn Taylor last week, but he is still kind of that decoy. He is still kind of that guy, in my opinion at least, who you still have to kind of work your defense around. And if Iowa can use that to their advantage to find Keyshawn Taylor, to find Darren Wilson, even Robert Washington out of the backfield, that could give the defense fits. We'll see what happens, but I've got Keon Williams here as a player to watch because he still has that big play potential to break out. I believe there was that one pass against Massachusetts where he could have had a touchdown had he not just gotten completely obliterated on double coverage pass interference. So he is my player to watch on offense. He has that big play ability. Can he use it to his advantage? We'll see. Defensively for Iowa, it's Ian McBurrow. Pressure, pressure, pressure. He did it last week. 10 tackles, 3 for a loss, and 1 sack. He was all over Massachusetts running game, and it showed. It showed how quickly they had to get rid of the ball. Yeah, they still completed passes, they still scored, but at the same time, able to disrupt that timing and able to get into the backfield to create some loss of yardage, He was able to get after him. 10 tackles, it means that, some guys were getting across to the second level, and he was right there to stop him for no extra yards, it seems. So, can he do that here? Edward Vander, we'll talk about in a second. You see it there. He needs to be the guy. Ian McBurrow needs to be the guy to neutralize him for all intents and purposes. I know it sounds bleak when you say it like that, but take him completely out of the game because we're going to talk about Edward Vander. 9 rushes, 25 yards. Again, not a lot to write home about, but he did his damage in the passing game. 6 catches, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had 3 total touchdowns on the day and over 100 yards of total offense. McBurrow has got to neutralize him, take him completely out of the game. Quad City's offense is very hit or miss. They have been all season. If they can get clicking, they look really good. If not, you're in for one hell of a day, and we have a defensive battle. Speaking of defenses, Jalen Swan, 5 tackles, half a tackle for a loss, and half a sack. He was disrupting. Now, not as much as, most of the defensive line for Quad City. 5 tackles is still good, especially on the defensive side or defensive line side. You need him to be a game wrecker. Kyle King doesn't really run the ball as much. I mean, he can scramble if he needs to, but he is kind of a statue back there. If this defensive line can create pressure on just 3-man rushes without a linebacker, if he needs to drop into coverage, whether it's Owens or, we'll talk about who the other linebacker could be in a second, that could spell doom for Iowa's passing game. So a lot of chess pieces here. It's like that for every game, but a lot of chess pieces here. Can Quad City's defense really stop that passing attack? We'll find out. I'm really interested to see how these defenses read and react when it comes to these offenses, because kind of boom or bust when we're talking about these two offenses. Quad City trails in the series. Iowa leads 5-4, and their last meeting was just 2 weeks ago, 55-53. Iowa just came out and obliterated them. Quad City tried to come back. Lots of turnovers. I don't see that happening here. Steamwheelers favored by about a touchdown. Money line juice to them and an over-under of 90.5. Let's go take a look at our injury report, our roster, our bets, and we'll do a prediction, and we'll get on out of here. All right, injury report for the two teams. Only thing added here, Tariq Bateman is exempt. He is off to the CFL mini camp, so I think they're doing mini camp right now. So I'm pretty sure the CFL season starts in June or July. Don't quote me on that. I think it starts in June, but anyway, he's off to the CFL. No one added or taken away from the Quad City side, and Christopher Strauder is still there for Iowa on their short-term or season injured reserve. So that being said, let's go take a look at our rosters and our bets, and we'll move on. All right, 25-man rosters. Not really much for either team, addition or subtraction. Let's talk about Iowa first. You look at the offensive side. They have added Sunday Dang. I believe that is how his last name is pronounced. With the subtraction of Tariq Bateman, they ran with Gaddy, Bastante, and Chambers last week. Dang is in there as kind of a reserve. I don't think he suited up last week, so we'll see if he does this week. Akeem Smith was traded from San Antonio over here, and Iowa traded back Trey Long. So now Keyshawn Taylor is number 1, so fix your stats IFL website, because Trey Long did not have the game last week. Akeem Smith did play, I believe. He played pretty well. Can't remember his stats off the top of my head. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything. I know there's a player missing because they only have 24, and the transactions page didn't update it. So they're either running with 24 or there's another player that is yet to be added here. We'll see. Other than that, it's more of the same from the Barnstormers. Simple as that. On the Quad City side, I don't think there's any changes offensively. The same 4 offensive linemen, same wide receivers, running back, quarterbacks. Defensive line is the same. Linebacker. This is where we'll see if Malik Owens starts. Jalen Jenkins has been signed. I don't know. He's a rookie. I don't think he has any other experience. So we'll see if he does truly get the start and get thrown to the Wolves, or if Malik Owens is there and he's just in there as kind of a backup in that position, if he even suits up. Defensive backs, I don't remember if I put him on the roster last week, but Josh Jones, defensive back number 11, is there. They just signed him. So just a little bit more depth when it comes to the defensive back position for the Barnstormers. And Sonny Lane is there as well. He played last week. So just a little bit of tinkering for the two teams. But there's your 25-man rosters. A little bit more of the same that we are expecting from last week to this week. We'll see how it goes. Let's go take a look at our bet. We'll get a prediction. Get on out of here. All right, best bet, over 90.5. Hear me out. I normally think this stuff is going to be like a Big Ten battle. We're in Big Ten country here. And it could hit. It honestly could hit. I don't know, though. The way that Iowa has been looking, the chemistry that Kyle King has been building with his receivers, that offense has started to get going. I know it won't show up on the stat sheet. I know it won't show up in the season stats and stuff like that. Iowa still has probably one of the worst offenses in terms of yardage and stuff, and I know Quad City has one of the better offenses, especially passing offenses, when it comes to yards gained. My hope here is that both defenses are able to still be there, but I hope the passing games are just there. I'm not saying they have to be Sam Castronova level, 6 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, whatever. It would be nice, but I want it to be just enough that they're just slinging the ball. Not a lot of penalties, and I know that's saying something with the refs that we have kind of right now. Again, don't blame the refs, but a little flag happy still. We limit the penalties, limit the turnovers, or even to get short yardage turnovers for touchdowns. Over could hit. I'm a little lenient. We'll be sweating. Don't get me wrong. I know the under will probably hit because I'm betting the over, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, that's where we're at. I do think the passing games for both teams will get going. The running games should get going in that regard as well too. And I'm really curious to see if the defenses really start to get going, especially in the first and second quarter. You got to hope for a miracle in that second half. But I'm thinking a little bit over 90. You're asking both these teams to put up 45 points. Maybe one team put up a little bit more, one team a little bit less. We'll see that in the prediction. But ultimately, yeah, over 90.5. Life's too short to bet the under. Let's go check out our prediction. All right, prediction time. 49-42. I've got a close, high-scoring game. Like I said in the best bet, I think both these passing offenses can get going. Iowa, I know they didn't. They've been putting up 40-plus points in the last couple of weeks. I know they didn't necessarily do that against, God, who did they play? I'm blanking on it. I know they did it against Arizona. They just did it against Massachusetts. So I'm hoping for a little bit more of the same. As for Quad City, you're asking this team to put up 45 points. They can do it. They've proven they can do it as well. This isn't Sioux Falls. This isn't Tulsa. This isn't things along those lines where you're going to have a back and forth here. Iowa's got a good defense. Just on the Iowa side as well. This isn't, Massachusetts with kind of a leaky defense. This isn't Sioux Falls, whatever. This is Quad City's defense. They're not the best, but some sound defenses regardless, middle of the pack, maybe a little bit upper, higher average. I'm hoping, like I said, we just get some points. I think Quad City can win it. I will not be shocked if Iowa pulls the upset. Honestly, Iowa is playing really well right now. They're looking pretty dangerous. Quad City, you never know what to expect with them. I'm pulling for home field advantage here, but ultimately, I do think the Steam Wheelers are able to win a close one. Maybe it's a nice back and forth and they just pull away late. I'm not sure, but got Quad City here 49-42. That's my prediction. Again, not upset whatsoever if Iowa pulls the upset. I ultimately expect them to, honestly. I think Iowa does have the pieces to pull an upset here, and their defense is getting a little scary as it seems. So still have Quad City, though, until proven otherwise, which could be this week. So anyway, that's our preview. Those are our predictions. Those are our bets. Those are everything. Appreciate you guys watching. I do have a little thing here to talk about. I'm doing something different this week. With the amount of games it's taken me to do like previews and recaps and things along those lines, an hour and a half long video to record, upload, and do all of that stuff is very time consuming, very challenging. I have to pick and choose times and when I do it. I'm going to be doing this week as a trial run of doing every single recap and every single preview by themselves. So you'll get this one. It was going to be a standalone one anyways. It still is. But this upcoming weekend, you'll have standalone previews like, Northern Arizona and Massachusetts, Green Bay and Frisco, San Diego. San Diego will have their own standalone one regardless. Whatever. Saturday will have its own separate preview for each game. Same thing with the recaps and stuff too. I just want to see if that's going to make it easier and less time consuming, or whatever the case could be. So bear with me here. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, then I'm stuck with hour-long recaps and things along like that. And I know some people don't want to watch the full hour. Perfectly fine. Like I said, it's never been an issue for me if people don't watch all my videos or the full video or whatever. It's not my intention. So Hopefully this does get people to watch videos. Again, I'm not complaining about views or anything like that, but that if that lets people section things out 10 minutes at a time instead of a full hour, overwhelming, whatever, cool. Whatever works. I'm all for it. Any feedback, things along those lines. So trial run this week. If it works and we keep doing it, that's what we'll do. If not, I'll just have to do an hour-long freaking recap and preview and stuff like that each weekend or whatever. So regardless, just want to pass that along. People watch the end of this video, cool. You'll be up to date. People just wanted to watch the preview and miss this part, cool. You'll figure stuff out when the videos get uploaded. Simple. Anyway, I just wanted to pass that along. That's it. Previews, predictions, all that stuff. I know this video is going to be a little bit longer because I have to explain all that. But anyway, there we go. Let's enjoy our Friday. Let's get ready for kickoff. Love you guys. Take care. See ya.
Maybe I'll break hearts and be as fair.